This is going to be a ranked guide regarding the best rushes you can do when you're on the attacking team in Operation 1. I think that rushing is the meta right now in ranked. If you're trying to hit champ, then you can very easily do it by rushing on attack, as if you're doing the right bans in ranked, which are usually the claymores at least, it makes rushing much easier because you do not have to check for them. For the first map, we're going to do cabin, and I'm just going to put on screen which site these are for, and you'll hear me explaining what these rush routes are for anyways, if you're listening to the video. So let's get into it. For the freezer bomb site, I tend to like spawning right here at garage, hopping over this, and then going straight to the garage door, breaking in, then dropping the hatch like so. After this, you can pretty easily clear out the kitchen stairs position. You can see a head peek if they have one on this wall. You can swing the 90 pretty easily. Get in. You can choose a clear poker if you want. Usually I just go straight in and just kill everyone in here. And then you keep going, They're blue. We're all good. Next is the kitchen site. And generally on the kitchen site, I like to spawn at the green spawn, run straight through, and I like to impact this window and then immediately try to impact that wall if it is not reinforced. Once you get this open, you're usually able to net some free kills because many people like to bunker around the site, so you can just spray them here. Get in, check your green, get behind the shelf, check your bar, and then keep clearing the rest of the site. And then once you're done, this is bomb usually, you can plant on chassis. Then once you're done, you can sludge out a pretty good post plant and hold through the window you just came through onto the diffuser, like so. So this is probably the optimal way to rush. I know other people do like coming through this kitchen entrance or blowing open these bookshelves, but I found this to be one of the optimal rushes that works for me because most people are not going to be holding this corner room, and if they are, you're usually surprising them from outside the window by throwing the first impact. If you see anyone, you shoot them, clear them out, then you can open that wall and get in. And next is the bar, and there's a couple ways to push the bar. I generally like to spawn at the green spawn, then I run over here and I check if this door is open. You can always see from spawn. If it's closed though, I like to go prone, and you get a pretty good peek, and you can kind of see partially over the counter here. You can even tap fire this out. Most people will either not hear this, or if they notice it, they don't know where it's getting shot from, and you can get some free kills here. I then like to sludge this open, clear the rest of site, and then you can usually start planting chassis, or if you have other teammates, which I hope you do at this point because it is Operation 1 4v4, someone else has already cleared out your small box, so you can just go over here and stick the defuse. Another great way to enter the bar actually is going through garage. Now, we don't like breaking open this door immediately because there's so much time they can shoot you while you're going for this because they can see your feet underneath. So please just ledge open the wall, pretend that hole isn't there, go in. Now you can clear your kitchen on a more advantageous peak because they're seeing you around the same time you're seeing them, rather than seeing you run up and see your feet under them and they shoot you and kill you. Then once you get in, you can usually clear out your metal stairs, hit a sledge here, and you're meeting up with that player right there that's coming through your bar entrance. So at this point, you know, while they're planting, you can hold their small box if someone's trying to push that. My next rush is for the bedrooms now, and first we're going to do the purple bedroom. Generally when I'm pushing purple, I like to vault over the railing, and I like to sludge this open. After this I back off, and you can contest your kitchen entrance, slice this, free fire your green, unless you like to hold green on this. Start pushing up. At this point you can immediately go left and clear out the rest of green. And you have two options here when you're trying to go for the purple. You can either sledge this open, which is a bit of a gamble, but it gives you access to blue, or you can go try to run to this corner, clear your ladder, and then immediately go to clear your blue, then your closet. Generally it just depends on how your team is pushing. So if you know your team is about to take the blue control, it might be good to just swing your purple closet because they're about to get rushed in by your teammate in blue. Another great thing to do if you have teammates pushing up these stairs with you, which I often do, I actually like to go over through green, break open this wall, and you can actually hold their master cross now, because many people for some reason like to hold master on purple site. Don't really understand, but you can cover anyone who's trying to run through here, and if you think they're getting close, you can just go close on the shelf for a sound call, then swing off of sound, free fire them. Then of course, once you're in purple, this isn't really going to be a fusel position guide, as I already made the default plant spots in the call out video for this map, but you can easily just rush in and plant the default on window. Next is green, and green is basically the same, if not a bit easier. I like to vault over the railing here, sledge out this door, clear one here, clear one holding our stairs. And I like to run under and actually do a default C4 toss over right here. And this usually gets me a free kill, because if we look at where it is, lots of players like holding this position because they do get this hole into master that they like to sit on. They like holding the door and window, and it's easy to rotate and contest your corner stairs. So I like to throw the C4 right here to kill that player. You can really throw it anywhere here. Many players love playing them just on site, sitting here on site. You could probably put one on this corner, you know. It's not a very bad thing to attempt. Lastly, rushing blue. It's very simple to, again, do the same take. I usually like going up on the railing like before, sledging out this door, checking our top, running through, and you can usually sledge this open and shoot anyone holding this corner. And then go in, cover your purple, cover your corner, pull this out if it hasn't been done by your garage players. Usually people like to go up to garage on my team and start contesting the blue slit, so these guys are already dead. You can then aggro, push in the closet, kill anyone here, and then you can either plant in the corner or you can plant in the closet. I usually like planting on the corner because this tends to be the safest. For the master bedroom, there's actually two different rushes you can go for in my opinion. The first one's going to be the one I usually go for, which is going up the scaffolding. I don't bring repel for a particular reason, which is I want to keep sledges on me. I like to push the main attic for master, get in here, kill anyone up here. Usually not many people hold in my matches. Clear the mid attic. This is the room that people may commonly hold, and you can clear out all of side attic. And then I just like to sledge open, drop hatch. Now, nobody in here is usually expecting you to drop the hatch. And by the time you're in here, the rest of your teammates should have taken mez control as well as balcony control, and now you can go for a default plant on the bathroom. The more common rush that I see most people do for master, which is also a great alternative, is breaking open the garage and then just running up the garage rafters. At this point, you can usually kill anyone who is holding your mid stairs, as well as anyone holding kitchen stairs, and someone who's trying to hold the guest pixel onto mez. And then you can just go in and just kill everyone. Pretty default. You can run over. At this point, probably plant behind dresser, because usually this is the rush my teammates are doing while I've already taken bathroom control, so there's not much to clear at this point. And you can just plant in front of the drone hole, which isn't a bad thing to do because you can actually repel and shoot people through this drone hole, or you can hold sound on the balk, wait for the defuse swing, or if you're really cool, you can actually toss a C4 and try to get them as they're running across. This will actually blow up the entire floor and kill anyone who might be going for that plant, because the C4 range is actually quite large. Next, we're going to rush the main attic, which is luckily marked by the capture flag. I don't usually play the capture game mode, but you can spawn garage spawn, come up the scaffolding, up the ladder. You can check your master because people do like to hold the master door on you coming up the ladder, so you can shoot anyone there. Now at this point, it depends if you're playing against comp or not. Usually this is going to be reinforced. For the sake of this video, we're just going to pretend these two impacts are a thermite charge going off. And while the thermite charge is going off, I'm usually getting up here and holding this pixel that goes all the way deep in the side. So this is very good to cut people off coming through the mid trying to hold it. This is just a small little pixel that not many people are looking out for. At this point, I usually also have another teammate who's holding the shelf, pulling that head peak, holding anyone swinging from ladder. And then I have a person in the middle who's doing all the work here, showing anyone coming through the mid rotate, shooting anyone that's trying to swing the left. And once we've decided, hey, it's pretty clear to go for it, I generally like to plant my default position, which is tucked right here, behind the chassis. Of course, this is capture, so there's no chassis here, but in an actual match, just imagine you are very well hidden back here. It is very hard for someone to kill you, and then you can just run out and hold their cross trying to go for it. This is very hard to contest. They need to know you're here. They need callouts for it. You could even have your teammate who is sitting here before just hold this the entire time and then just run back out. This is just a very brutal crossfire, so holding this is very smart. If you're fighting generally worse players, or as we call them, burgers, another smart rush you can probably just get away with is actually sledging open the garage, going up the rafters as if you're rushing master, but then just going up the mid-attic. Usually clear anyone pretty easily here, and then get in, put anyone on your ladder side, take this fight with anyone playing on the left breach, and then you can clear out the rotate. This usually happens in conjunction with the push that I showed here. So while all of this is going down, you have someone clearing out your mid. That means the only side left is really ladder, and once you have control of sight, defenders can't really do anything getting up ladder, to be honest. They can try to throw frags, but you can just run away from it. You can hold a further back angle on the ladder like so. Can't really do anything here. An even better thing is putting a C4 right here. Most people who are trying to contest this will try to throw a frag up through to hit you on the door. So while they're climbing up, you can just kill them when they're on the ladder. So pretty powerful way to do things. Now for the side attic, it's actually quite easy to rush this in my opinion, as you can just go up the scaffolding like before. You can then go and try to sledge this open or thermite it. It's a 50-50 if it's reinforced or not. Generally, even if it's reinforced, you have the util to break it. If not, and you want to be safe, you can have someone bring thermite up here, because most people won't mute jam it. But once you're in, you can clear out your ladder or have someone hold his flank. The other person takes mid control. Now, there's two ways you can try to go for mid. Most people don't reinforce this wall for some reason, and this is a huge blunder, because now you can sledge this open and get a really deep angle. Kill anyone rat. Keep pushing, keep pushing. You can kill anyone trying to hold your S3. You can get on these boxes and get a pretty good angle into anyone your S4. Do your S1, and then you can plant wherever you want. It's pretty easy to get S1 cleared, because usually during this entire push, I've had my whole team come with me up the scaffolding. So while maybe two people are clearing out this main, you have someone to run above on the roof, go on the top ladder position, sledge this open or something, and now they're clearing the S1 while all of that over there is going down. At this point, you usually have site control. You can really plant wherever you want. They removed the top ladder plant, unfortunately, so it's usually safe to plant far back near the chassis, so you can at least hold a pretty good head pixel onto them while they're trying to defuse. So and this concludes the cabin optimals rushes. You can of course take these and change them however you want, but these are the rushes that I've had the most success doing. And of course, you are not just one player, you are on a team of 4. I'm usually playing in a stack, so we have a lot of people rushing all at the same time. The strength in this is not just from you alone doing it, so keep that in mind. Now I'm going to start with a small section of the video. So first, we have the garage site, and usually on garage I am spawning for the front/garage spawn, and I'm going to push up here, and usually we just immediately start thermiting open the breach. So I'm going to pretend this is a thermite. And while this is going on and the thermite is going off, I will hold this tight angle on the van. If I see anyone here, I will kill, slice, slice, anyone on the door, slice, and hold the van. And by the time I'm holding this, I usually have another teammate who has been holding this angle. So then they start moving up closer, take out boxes. As soon as they start clearing boxes, I go for a crouch peek pre-fire, and this will usually get anyone fried on that door, while my teammate's also holding the same angle and crouching under their bullets, so they're just gone in a double peek. At this point, you can go for the plant. You plant top of the van. If the bathroom for some reason is not open, you can also plant right here on the edge of the van, which is also a plant I showed in the mall call-out video. Another fun rush if you have people covering your main breach is spawning in the alley spawn and sledging open the junk wall. Once you're here, you can kill anyone holding junk, anyone holding break. You then start moving into bathroom, and this is super good because you're already on site. This is already open, parts of it are open. You can already go for kills here. Like, I know there's a common rotate people like to open. You can just already go here and just use their own rotate against them and kill them while that breach is open and your teammate is flooding in. Next is the storage rush, and usually for the storage rush I also spawn in the garage spawn. And then we either have an impact go off or we just sledge ourselves in here. You can clear anyone that's holding your garage hall, holding van. You can go and kill this person here. And for some reason, many people just barricade this off. Now, I don't understand why people barricade this off. Please do not do this in your matches, because it makes it very easy to safely go just over here, kill anyone in the rafters, anyone in the chassis, and then you can just safely plant behind here because this gives you great visual cover. Now, yes, it can be shot through, but this is such good visual cover that I'll just plant here usually. We'll just get in and plant, and then we'll have someone else finally open the barricade and then just hold this long angle. So I really don't see the point in barricading this off when this wall is usually left soft. Though I don't think you should be playing the site bunkered anyways. So there's two ways to go for the kitchen. One of them is actually just doing the same take as the storage rush, going all the way in, sledging open, you know, going all the way deep, getting your storage back. Then you can try to contest anyone who likes holding the island peak. Look for heads. Take your fights there. Take your fights with cash register. And then you can hold this pixel here. Or you can run over and sledge that open. Another great, but objectively more dangerous rush, in my opinion, is spawning on your right spawn. Hitting this double open. And you can check boost first, see anyone's holding, and you can kill them. Usually, this wall is fully reinforced off, so you can't really sledge in. So I would suggest maybe impacting it. If it is soft, you can use the boxes for cover, and you can start clearing out like so. Clearing an error, watch your heads. And then you can probably plant safely behind the island at this angle. This gives you great visual cover. Next, for rushing anything like tech store, clothing, or surf, I do like spawning on the top/back spawn. And if I'm going for clothing, it's pretty simple. If this is a reinforce, I'll usually just sledge it open. Take my fights with someone who's trying to hold a C1. Jumping in, seeing everyone's holding our box position, or if they want to hold the jewelry stairs. At this point, it's up to you what you want to do. I usually just sledge this open and gamble my life and just go for this. Because this is a rush, we're not trying to take too much time. And then once you're in, you can plant wherever you want. Planting in this corner is not a bad idea. Another great spot to plant is running behind one of these pillars and planting. So texture is a pretty similar story. There's two ways to take it. I usually still will spawn here, and I'll start pushing. I'll have other teammates that might spawn alley. I'll break this open. I can get a pretty long pixel onto under Narnia. And then clear anyone trying to hold a double. Good to start pre-firing this wall because people do like to open head holes along it like so. Just an example. So it's good to hop in and pre-fire those. People do like to open those. And then you can get in, contest your register, try to contest your break room. Usually my team has already taken break room control, so I'm just holding this side. And then however it goes, someone can try and plant. This is probably the site we plant the least on, to be honest though. Next we're going to cover surf as well as the rest of the second floor sites. So in order to push surf, I will still spawn here. Like I said, anything that is a store, I'm generally spawning on back spawn. You can plant up this ladder, or if you like, you can plant on top of the van. Sometimes people like to hold this and you can hear them. If so, you can try to pre-fire through here. But usually no one's holding the jewelry stairs, though it is very smart to do this to try to counter rushes up the ladder. Next, I like to break open one of these walls. Usually I'm breaking this left one, and then immediately contesting this person close. I then like to jump through, and I actually don't like to go through the door, but I also don't sledge this wall. I actually like sledging this wall in the center, And this means that if you have diffuser, you can just immediately plant in visual cover. It's a very good thing to go for in my opinion, because then you can actually go around, and I don't have repel, but usually climb on top of the chassis and actually hold a very good head peek on someone trying to push through this rotate or through the door. Next is a coffee cabinet support rush. Coffee cabinet itself isn't the easiest to actually fully rush. Like, you can't get there super quickly, even if you were taking Narnia aside. So I usually like to sledge open the same area, and actually like climb on top of the box here, on top of the shelf, and you can hold a pretty deep angle into the barista position, as well as anyone trying to hold your escalator. And if you go right on the edge here, you can even peek into the door. At this point, you can also contest anyone bookstore. Usually people like holding around towards the front escalator side, so I like to wait for them to come through, and you can see them through the pixel, and once you watch them run past, you can just kill them eventually. After that point, I like to drop down, go over, and depending on who has diffuser, things can go differently here. I might just jump on top of the boxes and hold the straight down position on the escalator, because some people, for some reason, again, like to roam first floor for this, which I think is pretty bad, but people do it a lot, so I do hold the boxes sometimes. If I have the diffuser, I do like to just come over and plant on this corner. In my mall callout video, I did show that as long as you're on something that matches the callout for the bomb site, you can plant on it. So if the site is coffee cabin, as you can see I'm standing on coffee cabin, I could plant right here if I was playing in bomb right now. Next is the front entrance as well as the bookstores. So for front entrance, I like to spawn on the bottom right spawn or the front spawn, and I like to reshoot these out. This is because immediately, if I didn't notice before, I can only see a red outline on someone after I'm firing these, and it's very safe to do this. Because again, people like holding the vent position. I don't understand it, but that is a thing players do in this game, so you can early pick on someone holding that. And you like to jump on top, and this opens you up to a lot of positions possibly. And sometimes you are playing your life, but this is a rush. And if no one's watching this position, I'll just hold it maybe for a little bit, maybe a couple seconds, see if anyone runs out of storage, because people do like holding storage. Sometimes there are head holes on our bookstore positions, and I like to deal with those. At which point, if I think I'm safe and I've also cleared out the close corner, I'll jump over. And then at this point, if you're kind of in a bad spot, you can try to plant on your front bow or drop your front entrance. Generally speaking though, you have to be careful for any glory players with snipers or DMRs. So you can hold this honestly and have your teammate maybe plant tree even. And you can just wait for them to come up ladder, shoot them. If they're trying to contest for a second, if you want to come out the bookstore, you'll catch them coming through. And then you can even try to contest a little bit of storage from here, as well as the counter run through. You can just shoot and kill anyone who is trying to run through there on some pretty good pixels. For the bookstores, it's the same story. I spawn at the front spawn, I run up the stairs, I go on the boxes, I jump over. And at this point, if it is the bookstore main, I'll oftentimes run around to the bookstore reading wall. This usually is not reinforced, and I'll just sledge it open. Usually there's a castle barricade here for some reason. Again, I don't understand the strategies from players that play this game, but I can then just safely get in, kill anyone who's holding the library drop, and then after that I can usually break this open. I like to break it open long here, because this gives a great crossfire for my teammates that are usually pushing through the main door there, rather than going through here and being very susceptible to these rappel peaks. You're a bit safer sledging this open, because most people can't look this low when they're on the top of the rappels there. So at this point, you can just plant wherever you want. If you do have the diffuser, it's actually pretty good to plant right here, because this means anyone in rappel now needs to give up their spot to try to go and contest it. And when you're done, you can even sledge this open and go for picks on them if they're unaware. And then you can try to hold your bookstore elbow right here. Just like with the bookstore main, bookstore readings, another similar story to front entrance as well. We drop through the window, and I like to sledge this open. And at this point, you can shoot anyone who's repelled on top of the shelf. Usually, you might have at least one player every couple matches who wants to hold the bar where you can kill him if he tries to swing off of that kill. And you can test anyone in the lower here. Then after that, I usually like to just vault over, plant on this door. The reason I plant on this door is because many players, for some reason, love to go on top and hold this hatch drop. But if we go over here and plant, they usually don't have an angle on us. Usually there's not a hole there, but you can just safely plant right here, run out, maybe sledge the bottom here, and then you can test the diffuser from below and not many people are going to clear this, so you can just get a free kill on anyone trying to defuse. Next we're going to do the Derelict map. And I don't think Derelict is a bad map. I think people give it a bad rap, but it does have some fun rushes you can try to pull off in your matches. Starting with the armory spawn, I tend to enjoy just spawning here and going at an angle to open up this barricade. Sometimes people can be holding this tight, and you have to be wary of that, but also you can set a teammate hold the prone position the whole time you're going for that barricade swing. Next, I do like to literally just open up small box, kill anyone inside, build a freezer, build the freezer entrance. Then you can get into armory and do whatever you want. You can plant over here, and yeah, you're in. You can also go through this soft wall, and then from range you can actually just impact open the wall. Usually people aren't reinforcing for some reason, so you can just get a bunch of free kills opening the entire site like so on the side. Next is the garage, and going for garage, there's two things we usually do. For one, we'll have a person thermite this open, so pretend this was reinforced and just got thermited. So we'll have this wide open, and we'll usually have someone just taking side control off of that push, usually planting over here in the corner near the defute. Usually planting over here in the corner by the chassis. You can also have players pushing up here to contest the vert, because some people are actually starting to play vert now, which I like to see on this map. And this vert has very good control of, say, the entrance of the hallway right here. You can also hold anyone who's trying to play down in the corner, and you can even go for people who are trying to contest the diffuser you just planted by holding this angle on them in the corner. Next is the freezer, and I like to spawn on the armory spawn as well. And we'll usually sledge open this wall, and then you can try to spend impacts to open up the freezer wall, and you get pretty easy long slices on them from here. I mean, you've basically just split the entire site in half, and you can push off of that. You can attack anyone trying to hold chassis, swing this, kill anyone holding the freezer entrance, and yeah, now you have site control. We're not covering bunk because bunk doesn't really have rushes. Even though it's very easy to get to the site, it takes a while to open it, so I'm actually going to skip over it. But you can probably assume that you're taking elevator shaft control as well as port control. It's a pretty easy site to think about attacking, but it does take some time. So next we're going to go up to the server room. So for server, I'm usually spawning over here on the garage side, or server side spawn as we can call it. And then I like to climb up the ladder. Right here you might need to contest someone. You can actually see the red outlines through here and try to contest them on this. I like to break this open and take my fights right here on the store. Take my fights on the metal because you can't really get shot unless they're holding really tight angle on the shelf, but most people don't know you're here. And just contesting this, killing anyone who's trying to push that. We can then try to slice this off, take anyone bridge, jump in, take anyone on bookshelf bar, and then you can try to hit someone who's holding chassis on the right. Another great angle I like going for is actually climbing on top of this box. You can actually head tap a lot of people on a head glitch where they can't really see you, but you can see them. Many times I've just tapped people, like literally just with the AK-12 tapped them because they're not aware that their head is exposed. At which point you can now get the site. I like to plant usually by chassis, and then I like holding their entry back through the pixels off of the server racks. I've gotten so many kills off of the server racks here, as well as on this side you can kind of see them through and shoot them, or just play this as a pillar because it's a bulletproof cover unless these get destroyed, which isn't too often that these get destroyed. Next is when you spawn on the bar spawn, or bar. This is my favorite rush because this ladder is right up to a breach that is right next to the bar. I like being covered on the right side of the wall so that no one in the hallway is able to see me too well. And you can just get in here and just start killing people usually. Like, you just get in, kill their bathroom, everything, then control site. This is very rarely, if ever, reinforced for some reason. I do reinforce it when I'm on defense because I don't like this rush with it against me, but you can just get in here, just straight, just climb the ladder, now you're in. And you can take full control of the bar very quickly. If these walls are not opened, you can also open them up to really take anyone who's trying to be behind that wall. You can also contest the door. You can also break open the hatch hallway and kill anyone who might have been holding this. Just a very powerful rush that you should definitely put in your toolkit. Next are the archives, which I don't think you can really rush all that easily. So usually when I do, I am going to spawn on this lounge side spawn, and I like to just climb up the ladder all the way to the top. Ignore the flag right there, that is because it's captured, but pretend that the site is actually archives. I do like to take control of this, catch anyone who might be on the bridge trying to hold the metal, climb in, because sometimes people are holding the sandbags, so you can kill them. And usually it's just free to run straight through, all the way across. And then now you are already at the site door. This tends to be barricaded off, so it's not a bad idea to run across, hit this open, and then back off. And you can take it as fast as you need to. Take anyone on the boxes. You can then try to open this door up if it isn't already open, and many rotates are made by players of all skill levels, so it's good to be wary of that and try to pre-fire this. You can then run up to chassis and plant safely right here while your teammate holds this hole you made, so they can't really do anything to get to you at this point, and then you just get a free plant off and you basically have won the round at that point. Next is what I'll call the default TV/lounge take, because these sites are basically hand in hand. You could still climb up this ladder, and at this point, if this is not reinforced, just go for it and open it. If it is reinforced, you could drop down. I'll show that entryway as well. Once it's open, if the site is the lounge where the flag is, usually look at test people here, and you can hit some fights right here. Kind of hard to go for these fights, so I don't suggest it until you get some pressure from your teammates heading a bridge. Then you can probably play off of all that chaos that's happening and getting close on sandbags. Then you go for like something like this, because this is actually bulletproof cover. Now for the other part of the rush, assuming this is reinforced and you notice that, you could just drop down, pop this bar barricade. You can run over to the ladder over here, and with the new gun system, you can actually try to contest from ladder right here and just shoot them if they're trying to swing this door. And once you're in, you are supporting your player in the breach hall. You can try to get someone out of the back box's corner, try to contest these head holes, because people do like making head holes there. And at this point, you're basically getting full site control, so you can start running deep in, probably playing your diffuser right here. Why do we play the diffuser here? Because it's actually very easy to contest it. You can also try to plant diffuser right behind this table, because you can actually see for it from below if you hear them going for the defuse, as you can see. So yeah, you play right here. This guy's like, oh god, defuse, and now he's done. And the TV take is basically the exact same. You're coming through this breach. Usually on TV this actually does get reinforced. I don't know why, because TV and lounge are connected, so you'd think people would be like, oh, I'll just reinforce it both times I'm playing these locations. It's usually wide open. You can go for your takes. Most people are just holding this room right here. No one's usually holding lounge, so you can just take full control of TV from here. Try to open, rotate. If they haven't, usually people are opening this rotate, but now you can hold the shelf, crossover, and your teammate can usually plant safely on shelf, like right here. You might think, dang, right there next to the enemy. Most people are not going to shoot through that bookshelf for some reason. They'll try to swing around, so you can hold while your teammate's planting and just shoot the guy who's trying to swing around and kill diffuser. I'll use this to also do the utility rush, which is climb up that ladder as before, getting through the wall, and then I like taking full control of lounge and TV, making sure there's no one in the hallway. You can even go over, swing this. Usually this is castle barricaded, so once you notice that's castle barricaded, I like to run over and break open hole right here, shoot anyone, vault in, and just kill everyone else. Usually I have at least one teammate or two who aren't rushing, but they're taking the stairs way up, so you usually meet up with them around the same time, and at that point the entire team in here just gets pinched. It's pretty good. Next we have one of my favorite maps, if not my favorite map in the game right now, Oil Rig. Oil Rig is a very rush heavy map and a very roam heavy map on the defense. This is not a defense guide though, so I'm going to show you first a rush to enter the cabin on Oil Rig. But one of the first ways you can enter the cabin is coming down these stairs, running over, smacking this window open, and, you know, going for the kills off of window now. This isn't a bad way to rush, but it's a very vulnerable way to rush, because you have so many angles you can get shot from. You can get swung from someone behind this wall, because I don't know why, but people are not reinforcing this to play as a pillar, because this could be a very good pillar position. You can play off of bulletproof cover. No one does it, so just be ready for that. If you're very concerned about it, you can actually just impact it. It's also not a bad idea, and you could just hold this long angle after the diffuser's been planted. My personal favorite rush to go for is going from spawn over here. I think it makes you like face this way or something, turning, running over and breaking open this door. And at this point, you can swing the bathroom, kill anyone there, because people do like ratting in there. And something I do is I just run over and actually hit open this wall. People will forget this wall is completely soft, and you can kill anyone up in that bunk right there. Or if you have another impact pass, you can also go here and shoot anyone who's playing on the top bunk. And then you can actually vault in the site and just swing everything, kill everyone. It's not very bad, and I think it's worth trying out. Most people just hit the window. I think going from the back entrance is very strong. You just have to be wary about anyone playing lower maintenance or playing under stairs right here. Next is lower maintenance. You can usually just spawn heli and then drop. If this is reinforced, you can actually thermite it open. If not, it's very good to just hammer it open like on many of the other sites in this game, and you can take many good fights here. Another good one to go for is impacting right here, impacting again, and getting that all open. You get a very long sight line. This is actually where a sniper actually could be useful. If you're using AW, you're using the M82, M24 even, or DMRs, you can hold the lower part of electrical very well from this angle while someone's going to open breach. You're just cutting the sight in half, and they have to play off of these unfortunate peaks right here, because they're not great at all. Because you can get easily C4'd over them like so, and that's clear, and you can just pressure off of that. Now you can hold the stairs, you can hold their cabin hallway. Just a very, very easy site to push. Next is the mess hall, and I don't think the mess hall is very difficult. And the way we usually do it is a split push. You have all 4 players spawn here. Of course, you check for the spawn peak. It's easy to see their head if they're not crouching, so you can actually just get free kills here. And then you send 2 people. One can go over here, break this open, test the right side, take this door, shoot anyone on your mess hall counter, and then you can just kill this guy in the corner. Though many players, and this is not a bad idea I guess, many players do like playing on the stairs for some reason, usually trying to contest this door that we almost never go through, or trying to contest someone around this corner. And this is why we send the other 2 players up and through this window, just run in, kill anyone holding the stairs, and then get down the stairs, and now you have a full cutoff. You've basically taken control of the entire site at this point. And then we usually like to plant the diffuser on this door, just because it makes it so that we can hold a very advantageous head peak, actually, like right here. You just hold this, play for sound, swing it, kill them. Very powerful. Next is electrical, and while technically the most optimal route is going through this door, I feel like you're going to get killed, because if we just look here, you can get shot at from many angles. You can get shot from anyone holding what I like to call the oil pit, because this is basically Clubhouse from Siege. You can get killed from anyone on the rafters, including from this very tight peak. If you try to start entering, just get shredded. You'd be killed from the radio window, from the storage hall. There could be head holes in the storage wall. There could even be head holes in the mess hall. So I don't usually like rushing through this door. I actually like running over through the mess hall, breaking this, killing anyone who's holding the mess head peaks, and then just immediately running up the stairs. You can usually get through post office pretty quickly, get through surveillance, and now you're in radio. And when you're in radio, you can contest anyone here, of course. You can kill anyone holding a box position. I like breaking this open, killing anyone in our rafters, and then you can just jump over and just light this guy up. And now you have full control, and you can actually plant right here. This is, I feel, one of the best places you can plant, because you're safe from anyone playing storage, anyone playing the mess. You can kind of get seen from someone playing the oil pit, but at this point your teammates probably killed them, and you can kind of see them. This is not a one-way position, so you can probably see them if they're aiming at you and kill them through the grate. But planting here is pretty good, because your post plant is extremely strong. You can hold, you know, this box over here, see them coming up through the mess hall. Many people don't know there's an angle. I think it's a very good angle to be aware of, that you can, oh, I just got bugged, that you can hold. And then if you hear someone below you, you can just drop them and kill them immediately in the storage hall. Speaking of storage, now we're on storage. And you can try to go for electrical on your rush. I don't think this is the best way to rush this site, just because you're still open to the same angles as if the site was electrical. So I actually still go for my strategy of breaking open nest door and killing people here. And then I usually like to now contest electrical. If you're hearing people above you, you can wait and just rat them out, shoot them as they walk across. Another thing you can do is you can sledge this open, kill anyone in that corner. If you can't see the person's gun over there, then, you know, don't be afraid to impact. And you can shoot anyone in that corner, on the box's corner. And at this point, you basically have full site control. So you can enter, and you can hold this. A tech that not many people talk about is the fact that you can actually break these boxes. I'll see if I can do it with my util. Alright, nice. You can actually break these boxes, and it is impossible to vault. You do need to rappel, and this is actually a pretty cool tech. So if you do not want defenders retaking from this room, you can actually just break the boxes right here, and there's no way to get back up unless you have rappel. I'm spamming spacebar right now, by the way. It's just impossible for me to get up here now, so I have to go all the way around, try to get control of this wall, or I have to go in the storage hall. And this is going to get you fried, so definitely when you get storage control after a rush, try to break these boxes so they cannot retake the site. Next is the drill maintenance, and I don't usually like pushing through this door in drill maintenance because once you're in, or you even try to break it open, anyone holding this angle can usually fight you pretty easily. And once you get to this point, anyone holding the stairs kind of gets a one-way on the back of your head as you run past. And aiming up here will of course open you now up to anyone who wants to swing this and kill you, as well as head holes out of the storage connector. So what I usually like to do is I'll spawn any spawn just that starts below, and I like to first check through the grate here, and you can kill anyone that's in electrical from here. Just kill them. And no one's usually checking or holding that. You can then break this window open, get up your stairs, check this corner. People do like holding this, checking more on their boxes. And at this point, you're actually quite good to just take full control of the maintenance bay. Now for post office surveillance and control, you can do some of the same takes. Generally for post office, we do like climbing up this ladder. And then you can destroy this window. If I don't miss, you can destroy this window. You can test anyone on your spiral. And then you can also peek the door angle. I usually don't like going through this window though. I personally like to run around after opening that window and getting any kills, and then opening this. This catches anyone holding the door by surprise. Jump in, kill anyone holding your controller or mud. You can then come in through the door, and usually this isn't even reinforced in post, so I like to just open it and just go and kill everyone. People do need to start reinforcing that. Don't know why they don't. Now for surveillance, it's basically the same story. Now, I think it's fine to actually climb through a window on surveillance because most people aren't holding as close, and you can get easier picks on the post office. So, then I like breaking open this wall, so anyone who might be coming through the video. People like going prone behind this. Again, I don't understand the players in the game, but I see many people sitting here. I don't know what this is meant to control, but opening up this hole right here, you can actually just see the top of their head, just probably kill them, and they have full surveillance control. In terms of control room, it's also the same thing. You can actually just come through, get in, test anyone holding, clear anyone on this part of control. You can run across, clear out the mudroom. You can wrap all the way around during this entire push. You have full space control of this bomb site, and you can really just plant now wherever you want. I suggest planting somewhere in the open, or like even on this double door, because they're open to the roof still, they're open to that door, they're open to the surveillance wall, they're open to radio, they're open to rafters, and they're open to the spiral. So this is a very unsafe place for them to try and counter defuse. Spawning on helipad, and then running up through electrical, and you can just take easy rafters control usually. I see lots of people in radio just staying in radio, and you can come in, break open this wall as shown, try to kill people, go to a window, get some more picks, and then you can just plant right here. This is super good. Then you can get on this head peek. Many people do not like this head peek. You should abuse it because you can get pretty good sight lines down into the surveillance room. You get the rafters. You can even try to hold the control on the other side like so. You can actually get on top here and still partially hold control on a pretty good pixel as they're coming through, and just as they come in you can just kill them, shred them. Another way I like to rush is actually coming up these mesh stairs, and then you can just usually hold W key and just get in. Watch out for claymores or cast barricades. Players like to place them here, and then you can kill half of sight right here. Sometimes you might get unlucky and it does cost you your life, but you still have 3 other teammates that can clean up whatever is left behind.